Hello, this is Luke Voulgarakis from LV Life and welcome to your quick tarot for week commencing the 18th of November 2024. Now remember, you can fast forward to your sun, moon and rising signs, but don't rush off too fast because we have your general energies reading to begin with, which will be about the first 3 to 5 minutes of this video, and then you can forward to your sun, moon and rising. The timestamps will be in the description of the video so that you can go straight to those 3 signs for yourself. Now, did you check out your last week's? It's always worth going back and having a look at your last week's quick tarot just to see if any of that came into fruition, and you can let me know in the comments. Please also like, follow, subscribe and share, because all of those things will help me to reach more people and to grow my channels and social platform. And I really appreciate it. It's totally free for you to do. If you wanted to, you could do a PayPal or buy me a coffee link donation, because that would be really helpful to help me keep doing what I do. And you can also have a private reading with me at lukevoulgarakis.com/tarot. That information's in the description, and we can do a private reading at my Wellbeing Centre in Fareham, or we can do it online via video call, or I can even just record you a video and send that over to you as well, whatever you prefer. All right, let's crack on. General energies for this coming week. All right, 3 of Cups, getting your friends together, having a celebration. 10 of, come on Luke, get your words out. 10 of Wands, reversed. And the Queen of Wands upright. Okay, so let's get those out for you. Ta-da! Just firstly, these 3 energies, look, those cards are all got the same color palette. They're very similar. There's a lot of connection and flow between these cards. So first we've got the 3 of Cups, which I said just now is like a celebratory, kind of getting your friends together, uplifting each other. Cups are relationships, so that can be anybody in your life. And I feel like this is people that are supporting you, rooting for you, that really get you, and that are really here to uplift you. So I think that your focus for this coming week is those people, understanding who the people are that are on your team, and utilizing them, leaning into their energy, and just kind of living life as a celebration alongside those people rather than worrying about anybody else. And then we've got this 10 of Pentacles in reverse. I keep getting it wrong. It's not Pentacles. It is Wands. I don't know what's going on with my brain. The 10 of Wands in reverse. This is a bit like the finish line. 10 is always completion. You can see this person's been working really hard. He's like dragging these wands over the finish line there. But he's nearly there. He's right at the village. So he's almost there. And so I think if stuff isn't coming into fruition for you, or you're feeling perhaps frustrated or a bit stagnant about things, about ambitions, goals, dreams, things you're trying to manifest, lean into your friends. Lean into the people who get you, support you and uplifting you, because I think that this stuff will come into fruition. Maybe by asking for help, but it might not even be as literal as that. I think it might just be having the energy and the uplift from these people. Then you're going to carry things across the finish line. It's like people cheering for you as you approach that finish line. And then we've got the Queen of Wands, and this is about mastering manifestation. Got the lucky cat here. A queen is someone that's worked really damn hard, and she's landed that place on the throne because she's really, really worked for it. And so I feel like as this completion comes into place, you're going to be sat there thinking, oh, you know, I worked really hard for this, and I'm really grateful that I put in the effort, and I feel like I deserve it now. Rather than a king who's gifted something because it's his birthright, the queen has to marry into the royal family, learn the royal etiquette, bear the king's children. It's a lot harder work, and so she really earns her place. And I just feel like it's that. And I think things are going to then start coming into fruition. The things that you've been trying to manifest or create will actually be happening once you kind of get over this last hurdle feeling, this kind of stagnant feeling, and finding the energy and the uplift from others around you to really land yourself there, and stuff just actually starting to materialize and take place. All right, lovely general energies cards there. Let's see what we've got per sign. So let's go with Taurus to begin. Taurus, what do we have? The King of Wands. Oh, that's interesting. So we just had the Queen of Wands up right now. We've got the King of Wands in reverse. And so looking at this, we know that, as I just explained, the king is someone who inherits the throne. It's his birthright. He doesn't necessarily work for it. He just lands there. In this reverse position, I wonder if there's going to be, or perhaps this is a little warning not to listen to your inner saboteur. Perhaps this is a case of feeling like, well, you get there, but do I deserve it? Am I really supposed to be here? Is this really my birthright? Maybe kind of the victory and the win and things coming into fruition for you, then just you get a little drop or seed of self-doubt. And you think, oh, you know, maybe imposter syndrome. That's what I was looking for. You know, maybe you're leaning into this kind of imposter syndrome, or that natural kind of feeling or energy or doubt comes up. And so again, you're being asked, along with this general energies, to listen to the truth, listen to the people that know you best, listen to the celebrations that are happening around you, not to get sucked into that imposter syndrome feeling or thought. It's just that, a feeling or thought. It's not real, okay? And so I think this is just a little bit of warning, you know, not to feel overwhelmed perhaps and like you're not worthy, because you totally are. You might have earned that throne, but that doesn't mean you don't also deserve it. You definitely deserve it. All right, Virgo. Virgo, pick and choose your battles. We've got here the Seven of Swords. It came out upright, reversed, sorry. And so I think that here you really need to be thinking about what's worth getting involved in and what is not. And I don't even mean necessarily physically in the world. I feel like what goes on inside you, like the conversations that you have in your head, the self-doubt, the fear, the worries, what is real and what is not. We have self-doubt for a reason. We have fear for a reason. It can keep us safe, all right? It can keep us out of danger. It's a human mechanism that's very useful for survival. That doesn't mean that it's real. You know, not everything that you think and feel is real. And so it's not dissimilar to the Taurus energy that we just had, but there is an aspect here of just really going, is this real or is it not? Is this helpful? Is it not? Because as I say, you can get some of those negative thoughts come into your mind and they be helpful and keep you out of danger, but a lot of the time they're just there winding you up and holding you back. And so you want to be progressing forward. So you want to be asking, when stuff comes up into your mind or doubt or fear creep in, is it helpful? Is it useful? Is it real? So take that advice this week. All right, Capricorn. Capricorn, putting in the hard work. So Capricorn, you know, when we think about the general energies as well, talking about like doing the work and getting to the last hurdle and trying to see it through and knowing that it will be successful, all of the things that you've been doing up to this point are those stakes in the ground like this. You are laying the foundations for something bigger, something better. So I feel like you might be tipping over into the box of success, as in, you know, you might be at the last hurdle and the next thing that you're going to get that throne and feel successful and worthy and valid. But I think that's only the tip of the iceberg. I think there's more. I think you're putting in the groundwork here for something even bigger. So I think all of the work that you've been doing is starting to pay off, but I just feel like it's phase one, and I think there's more. So I'm looking forward to kind of what comes next. But this week it's like, keep doing the hard work. Keep chipping away, keep putting your stakes in the ground, knowing that it's adding up and you're really, really, really nearly there for the first part, for part one. I think there's more coming. Okay, what do we have? Leo. What do we got? Leo. No, wait. I was right, it was Capricorn. Okay, Luke, get a grip. Start again. It is not Leo, it is not Capricorn, it's Sagittarius. So let's see what we've got for Sagittarius. I've also just dropped some on the floor. All right, Sagittarius. Here we have got this Nine of Wands. If anything's stopping you moving forward at the moment, it's you. So again, we talked about this last hurdle energy. We talked about things not quite feeling like that you've been doing, and you're not quite there yet, or you haven't got the strength to keep going, but you have, because you're nearly there and you're going to be victorious. And this is that kind of yourself feeling a bit wounded and weary, and feeling almost a bit like, do I really want it? Should I really go for it? Is it too good to be true? I can see it in the finish line, but do I actually really want it? I think it's just fear or self-doubt creeping in. We've had a lot of this energy come through on the Sun, Moon and Rising cards already, through Taurus, Virgo and Capricorn. But Sagittarius, I think that you are, I think there's something in this process that you need to stop and question. Okay, you're really nearly there and it's all going to be good, but I think there's a point that you need to stop and question. This person's a bit weary, a bit frightened to step forward, perhaps a bit suspicious. And so I think that you are right to stop and question at this moment in time. So yeah, before you, dot the I's and cross the T's, stop and question any niggle that you've got on your mind, anything that you're like, oh, I'm not sure if this is quite right. You want to stop and question that, okay, before you finish that race or whatever the journey is. All right, Leo, what have we got, Leo? Leo, the Ten of Swords reversed. The Ten of Swords always looks terrifying, but it's not. It's a very nice card. It is the end of all challenges and battles, and you can see that the new day is coming here. We've got the fog clearing and the sun's coming back out. In the reverse position, I wonder if you've been working specifically on some of your inner demons, your trauma, your challenges that you've experienced. It's not they're physically happening now, but perhaps you've been doing some of the work, or perhaps you've been trying to get yourself out of this negative headspace for a while. And I feel like everything's clearing now. I feel like this week things are becoming clearer. Things are becoming feeling better, perhaps more healed, perhaps I think just clarity. Clarity is the right word here. So I do think clarity is coming this week for you. I think you're kind of getting your head out of the clouds now, and starting to breathe again, starting to breathe in new life and feel a bit more hopeful again. All right, Aries. Aries. We've got the Nine of Swords that came out reversed as well. So this is about resting now. If you've been going through stuff and you feel like it's never-ending barrage of shit, which the world can be sometimes, it's your time to stop and rest, okay? I feel like perhaps the physical stuff has stopped, but perhaps the mental stuff is still whirling. And I feel like you need time to stop and rest and reflect, and try and really, you're not moving forward, you're not moving back, you're just being. You're just going to take time to be this week, and just to pause and not focus, think, feel, just be. Even if that means like taking a week off just to sit on the sofa and watch trash TV or whatever. Just, you need time just to be, right? And not to plan, to think, to process, to heal, to do anything. Just be. All right, Gemini, what do we have? Oh, the Hierophant reversed. So the Hierophant depicts this religious leader and two people bowing down to him, effectively following the rules of the religion. In the reverse position, I think you are starting to challenge things, starting to challenge some of those beliefs that you've always had, the practices that you've always done, the way that it's always been. Perhaps it's time for you just to start turning things on their head a bit and going, well, actually, does this still work for me? Do I still believe this? Is this really in my highest and greatest good? And just starting to think like that. Not taking things for the status quo, not taking things for the way that they've always been done, or what you've always been taught, or what you've always seen work before. Try and flip your thinking a little bit, and start thinking about what's good for me, what works for me, what feels right for me now as this person who I am today, not who I was before, not what I used to believe, none of that. Just look at what you have now and decide, is this what I think and feel and believe? And perhaps someone's trying to give you some advice at the moment, and maybe you normally listen to them, maybe you see them as a wise person, but maybe now this time around you need to go, but does it really resonate for me? Is it really right for me in this moment in time? All right, Aquarians, we have... Oh, everything's pointing in the right direction, Aquarians. We have got the 8 of Wands. Everything's pointing in the right direction. So, and this really links into those general energies that we had about working really hard and getting to the finish line and feeling like you found, you know, kind of achieve what you've been hoping to achieve. I think everything's coming to a really good point for you. Like things are actually starting to come together, and all of the stuff you've been doing is coming together. And it's then heading you like on a more upwards trajectory. Although they're pointing downwards, I just ignore that. it is like pointing in the right direction. I just feel like, yeah, you're being kind of, you're on track again. Maybe you felt off track for a while, but you're on track again. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. I'm interested actually about, you know, when I said about upwards trajectory and that they're pointing down. I feel like being on track doesn't always mean like winning major financial success or whatever. Being on track can mean being really grounded, really kind of in the moment, really in touch with what's going on around you, and really getting it and feeling it. And you know, I think that's what this means about everything pointing in the right direction, being really kind of wholesome and rooted, and really authentic. Authentic's a great word. Yes, so that's what I mean by being pointed in the right direction. All right, Libra. Libra, the Judgment card, the tides are turning. This is like, depicts the Judgment Day. But for me, I feel like this is tides are turning for you in a sense of the way that things have always been are now changing. And this can be really good and really positive. Like change is good. And so Judgment Day, we assume is all doom and gloom and it's scary and it's terrifying, but what if it's not? What if it leads to something even better? So I feel like there's significant change and shift this week for you. Like things really being course corrected, like going on a new path, like out with the old, in with the new kind of thing, just really moving on to a new plane of existence, like a whole new level of your life, like you, but 2.0. Yeah, so I feel like big change coming for you this week. And I feel like it might also be, I mean, my husband's Libra and we're going through a self-employed process for him at the moment. And I'm just connecting it with that, thinking, you know, the nudity in this card means vulnerability, but of course self-employment is massively vulnerable. But I feel like it's inevitable and it's right. And, you know, in that, just using that example of the change that is happening is inevitable for you and it's right for you. And, you know, and it might feel really different and a bit scary, but it's also really exciting. Okay, Cancerians, what do we have? Oh, we have got the 2 of Swords reversed. I think you've got a decision to make, like perhaps you're at a crossroads or there's just a decision to make that's really been playing on your mind, but your mind is not helping you figure this out, right? We've got the blindfold here, which shows you that being blind to it, being overthinking, being stuck in the head is not helping you make that decision. You need to kind of whip that blindfold off. And really show and demonstrate that you can see the picture more clearly. When you overthink something, you lose clarity, right? But you need to just be really visible and clear with what's going on. So you whip that blindfold off and you look at it from the truth perspective. You get some, like, you almost want the oh God, what's the word? Objective. You want that objective view now of this situation. So not what's going on with all of this overthinking, but what's objective, what's real, what's true. Get it down on paper, right? If you want, jot it out, pros and cons, all of that. I'm not usually a fan of pros and cons and things, but I think in this situation it's coming through that that's kind of what you need to do. And just to really be objective about it and look at things with real clarity and certainty to make that decision. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking here for that one. All right, so yeah, big decision, Cancerian, but you can do it. Just look at it really objectively. Scorpio. The Devil card reversed, okay? So the Devil, it kind of depicts fear. But if you look at the Devil, we've got two people below him that are naked. That's the vulnerability aspect here. But they're chained to a door, and the Devil sits atop the door. And then the chains around their neck aren't actually that tight. They're a bit loose, actually. And so they're chained to the very thing that is their exit, and they can just take those chains off and they can leave. The Devil, it's the thought of the Devil, the fear of the Devil that's keeping them chained there. Nothing physically is keeping them there. So I feel like, Scorpio, you are feeling fearful about something, and you're either like internalizing or regressing. And the Devil also is temptation. So when I say regressing, like you might be going back to old habits, old thought patterns, old beliefs. And that's keeping you chained to the Devil. That's keeping you chained to the fear. So what if you could just slip that chain off and walk out that door? Yes, you'd be naked, you'd be vulnerable, you'd be exposed, but you'd be free of that Devil. So I feel like you're being asked to not get sucked into that Devil energy, not get sucked into that fear and the familiarity of what doesn't work but feels like it keeps you safe. I feel like you need to step out of that. So this is like a little warning card this week, to not get dragged down by that thought of the Devil. All right, Pisces. Pisces, you have got the Five of Cups. You're feeling a bit, maybe just a bit low or a bit down or a bit saddened about something. I feel like there's a people energy here, you know, cups of relationships. Perhaps you're just feeling a bit sad about having to let someone go, or somebody, you know, that something's gone on between you, and it's just getting you feeling a bit down. But just know this, that when you release someone from your life, or somebody shows their true colors in your life and they don't necessarily love and support you in the way that you love and support them, that might feel sad, and that's okay. That's part of a grieving process. But also it's really healthy to let those cups spill over, to let go of that stuff, right? And so I think a part of you this week is trying to get comfortable with letting go. Because what you also have are people here stood up. The cup stood up, that they're the ones that support you. They've got your back, literally got your back, right? And so I think it's time for you just to have a little bit of a reality check with the people around you, and know who has got your back, and who it's time to let go of. And you can let go of someone and still love, honor, and respect them. You don't have, doesn't have to be, you know, frictious or anger led or anything like that. You know, you can still send them a Christmas card or bump into them and say hi, but you don't have to allow all of your energy to be poured into them, or accept energy from them. So yeah, it's okay to feel sad about it. That's part of a mourning process, but it's really important and healthy to know who's got your back and who hasn't. All right, well, I hope that they resonated for you. Have a wonderful week ahead, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.